I kept writing until I had a collection of episodes, conversations, and characters with no idea where it all was heading. I was having a wonderful time. I loved the opportunity to turn things upside down and inside out, and indulge all the bad jokes and puns and wordplay that my father had introduced me to when I was growing up. After I had done about 50 pages, a friend took it all to an editor she knew. A few weeks later, I was offered a contract to finish the book. My goodness, it was now a book, and I had to finish it. It was no longer a game. I didn't own it. It owned me. I began again and did my best to forget the contract. Slowly, the fun came back, and after about 6 months, the princesses were rescued. Some order had been restored, at least for a while, and both Milo and I had learned a few things. I should say a few words about the illustrations. At the time that I was writing the book, I was sharing a large, rundown duplex apartment in New York with Jules Pfeiffer. At that time, Jules was just getting started on his career. He became intrigued by all the pacing around on the floor above him, and from time to time he would read sections of what I was doing and make sketches for possible illustrations. They were quite wonderful and caught the spirit of the book perfectly. We decided that he should do the illustrations, but there were some small problems. There were some things that he just didn't like to draw. For one thing, maps. I love maps, and I think one of the reasons I wrote the book at all was that I could have a map in it, like the Arthur Ransom books I had loved so much. So we collaborated on the map. Jules also didn't like to draw horses. In the scene near the end of the book where Milo and the princesses are rescued from the demons, the armies of the Kingdom of Wisdom are on horseback. Jules' first sketches show them mounted on cats. After a while, it became a kind of game, he trying to figure out ways to draw things the way he wanted, and me inventing things that would cause him maximum difficulty. For example, in the Mountains of Ignorance, there are a crowd of demons who threaten Milo. Among them are the triple demons of compromise. One is short and fat, one is tall and thin, and the third is exactly like the other two. For some reason, they were never illustrated. Jules did get his revenge, though, by drawing me as the weatherman, a short, plump, balding semi-lunatic in a toga. This was quite unfair since everyone knows I never wear a toga. Anyway, I never did get back to the book on urban perception. But the funny thing is that many of the things I was thinking about for the book did find their way into the Phantom Tollbooth. Maybe someday I'll get back to it, when I'm trying to avoid doing something else.
Chapter 1. Milo. There was once a boy named Milo who didn't know what to do with himself. Not just sometimes, but always. When he was in school, he longed to be out, and when he was out, he longed to be in. On the way, he thought about coming home, and coming home, he thought about going. Wherever he was, he wished he were somewhere else, and when he got there, he wondered why he'd bothered. Nothing really interested him, least of all the things that should have. "It seems to me that almost everything is a waste of time," he remarked one day as he walked dejectedly home from school. "I can't see the point in learning to solve useless problems or subtracting turnips from turnips or knowing where Ethiopia is or how to spell February." And since no one bothered to explain otherwise, he regarded the process of seeking knowledge as the greatest waste of time of all. As he and his unhappy thoughts hurried along, for while he was never anxious to be where he was going, he liked to get there as quickly as possible. It seemed a great wonder that the world, which was so large, could sometimes feel so small and empty. "And worst of all," he continued sadly, "there's nothing for me to do, nowhere I'd care to go, and hardly anything worth seeing." He punctuated this last thought with such a deep sigh that a house sparrow singing nearby stopped and rushed home to be with his family. Without stopping or looking up, Milo dashed past the buildings and busy shops that lined the street, and in a few minutes reached home, dashed through the lobby, hopped onto the elevator, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and off again, opened the apartment door.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.